Hi, everyone. Mr. Ferreira here. Thank you for those who came to office hours yesterday. They are on Wednesdays at 11:30. A lot of you guys brought really wonderful questions about the learning task that we had from Wednesday. And so I just want to take right now to clarify exactly what you are supposed to be doing because I think that there's still a little bit of confusion about it. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to Blackboard and you need to go to week 9. This is where all of your materials for this week are. They're week 9. And the first thing you need to do is open a hero's journey flowchart. So make sure you're opening the hero's journey flowchart. Okay. And if you haven't opened it, it's going to pop up just like this. It's going to say that it's late, it's unopened. That's okay. A lot of you guys have asked us about late assignments. Still submit them. You can still submit late work. And we are giving full credit for it right now. Where the most important thing that we're looking for is for effort and for you guys to be going in and really working on these assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this assignment. Okay. And it's going to prompt you through a couple of different prompts. And at this point, we should be a pro. But if you're still confused, you can just follow these prompts, hit continue. We're going to link it to your Google account. Okay. Might take a few minutes, and that's all right. Okay, great. And here is the work. I'm going to open it up. You have to click on the title of the assignment to actually get it up. Now, here's your hero's journey flowchart. And you guys were just like, whoa, I'm looking at this. I have no idea what this is. This doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe I wasn't in class. Maybe I missed this part. Maybe my cat jumped on me and I wasn't really able to focus. So each one of these little images, these little pictures here are a different stage of the hero's journey, okay? So we begin our hero's journey with the ordinary world. We talked about this in yesterday's class. We have the ordinary world, we have the call to adventure, we have entering the unknown, and then we have our supernatural aid or meeting of the mentor, okay? Now you guys are like, okay, great, but how do I fill in the rest of this? I have no idea what goes in each of these boxes. Well, what you need to do is you need to go back to Blackboard and you need to open your Hero's Journey Acts 2 and 3. Okay, this is your reading from yesterday, and it's what we've been working on for a couple of weeks now. And you can see that here's my reading. I begin with Act 1, the separation, and here's that ordinary world. This is the first stage of our hero's journey. So if I go back to my assignment, here's the ordinary world. This is stage 1, the first stage of my hero's journey, okay? So I'm back in Blackboard, and here's the ordinary journey. We have the call to adventure, we have entering the unknown, and we have supernatural aid or meeting with the mentor. Okay, so now you're like, okay, there's our first 4 stages of the hero's journey. Where do I go from here? So now you scroll down and you can see that our hero's journey Act 2 begins, our initiation and transformation. And the first stage of Act 2 is allies and helpers. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. And every hero needs a helper, much like every superhero needs a sidekick. Okay, so this stage here is telling us that our heroes need our helpers. They need helpers who help them. This is different than their mentor, right? Their mentor is more of a teacher, more of a guide. And our allies or helpers are secondary characters who may help our hero in some way. Okay, so now I'm going back to my hero's journey and I'm going to type here in the next space is allies / helpers, okay? So I know now that that is my next stage of my hero's journey. And you're like, okay, great. So I have allies and helpers. Now, maybe I can think about what comes next. So let's go back to our hero's journey text and let's just double check, right? Now we can see the next title, the next subheading in our hero's journey is the Road of Trials, okay? And the Road of Trials is a series of tests, tasks, or ordeals that the person must undergo. Our hero undergoes this. Now, these are small tasks that happen throughout our story, right? So if we're thinking about Spider-Man and Miles Morales, we know that he has a bunch of different small challenges that he overcomes that leads us to our large final fight scene at the end of the movie. right? So that is what our road of trials is. And so I'm going to take my road of trials and I'm going to type it right here in this box. Road of trials. Okay, that is my next phase, the next stage of our hero's journey, okay, is the road of trials. Now remember, every hero undergoes these stages in their hero's journey. It might happen at different times, but every single hero that we know goes through these stages, okay? And now you're like, okay, well, this is starting to make a little bit more sense now. But now I see these key details box and I have no idea what that is. So let's go back to our text and let's find out what comes after the road of trials. Oh, it's our supreme ordeal, right? And so this happens more towards the end of our story, right? Our hero finally reaches that obstacle that they've been working so hard. This is kind of like the final boss, right? This is kind of at the very end of our story. It's what our hero has been working hard to fix. So if we're thinking about Spider-Man and Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse, this is where he is trying to save his universe. He's trying to save his world. And the other Spider people are trying to save their worlds, right? And so I need to remember that, right? Because there's a key detail that I need to make sure I add in here. So I'm going to write over here, I'm going to put in the supreme ordeal. I have my supreme ordeal here. And now remember that key detail, it's just like, what is the most important detail from that paragraph, from the supreme ordeal? And really, I know that the most important thing for me to know is that this is the final fight that our hero has been working towards. Okay? So that's a little bit of how you fill out your flow chart. You need your hero's journey text, which is in Blackboard, and each of these headings is a stage of the hero's journey, okay? So I'm hoping that that is helpful. I want you guys to take the rest of today, if you haven't already submitted this, and submit this. And if you're watching this video and you're like, I think I did this wrong, you can go ahead and resubmit it. I'm gonna go in right now and grade these, so that way you can resubmit, because otherwise if I don't grade it, you can't submit it again. So I'm going to go make sure that you are able to resubmit this if you need to. And if you have not submitted it, go ahead and submit it. It won't be counted as late. The most important thing that Mr. Lax and I are looking for is to see that you're actually just trying and working on this work. Okay? If you have any questions, please reach out to Mr. Lax and myself. And make sure you're looking for future announcements just about the reading. I am going to be posting the audio for this week's reading in just a few minutes, so make sure you're looking for that as well. All right, thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow, Friday, at our reading book club.